Hi everybody, Shelly here. Thank you for coming back around. Today I figured I would try some products I've never tried before. Don't really know how I quite am gonna feel about them because I have mixed reviews on Pur and I've got a bunch of Pur products. So I thought I would just kind of try out some of this stuff and see how I feel about it. So if that interests you at all, if you're at all curious about the Pur line and kind of some of their options, what they have, we'll try mostly a face of Pur Cosmetics and just kind of see what we can come up with. I am going to use a palette that I'm a little bit scared to use, but let's just see what we can do. Okay, the first thing I'm going to try is this Pur No Filter Primer. It says Blurring Photography Primer. This came as a sample in a recent Pur, oh my gosh, I probably got too much. I did an unboxing of their beauty bundles, mystery bundles. This came as part of that. Okay, so here's my thought right off the bat. Feels really good on the skin. There's no issue with that. It has a little bit of luminosity, a little glow, which I like. Usually in kind of primers, or I usually do like some sort of illuminating or whatever else before I go in with my foundation. So I like that. What I don't like is they give you quite a bit in this pack and there's no way to seal it up or save it or use it again. There's just no way like I have enough on my fingers now just from the outside of the package to do like a whole other face. We're just gonna put it there. Actually, you know what? Let's put it on my neck. If it blurs, I'm just gonna use a blurring primer on the neck. Why not? We'll blur the whole thing. I did not get a Pur foundation, so I'm just gonna use my ColourPop Tinted Moisturizer. Now, I did get, in my sort of unboxing, my bundle of Pur products, I got a selection of brushes. There's not enough here to do a full face, but I believe this is supposed to be like a complexion brush. And I have never used these ones that look like toothbrushes. I've never used this before. So we're gonna try it. I'm just not even sure. I did put 2 pumps. I probably don't need that much on here. But if the brush soaks it all in, then I guess it'll probably be good that I use 2 pumps. Yeah, I feel like the brush like soaked in the majority of the product without distributing it on my face. Like I feel like I got the barest amount on here. I don't really know what the key is. I don't think you're supposed to wet the brush. I feel like I've distributed enough on my face to get started. Normally I don't need quite that much, but I normally use a beauty blender and not this brush. So I can say honestly right now, I feel like I went through a lot of product. I started with like 2 pumps and then added probably 2 or 3 more. It seems to look like it normally does. So I guess that's good, but it did feel like I went through a lot of product to get there. So I don't know how I feel about that. I do need a little bit of concealer. So I'm just gonna grab this one right here. This is a ColourPop Pretty Fresh. And we're just gonna put a little bit of it right here. Now, another brush that came with that set is this one right here, which is supposed to be some sort of cosmetic brush. Am I really washed out? All right, this one feels weird too. Feels super dry. I'm obviously not using this right. So leave me a comment down below and tell me how you're supposed to use these things because I'm not understanding this whole toothbrush, face brush situation. I feel like they were kind of popular here a little while ago, like a year or 2 ago, and I was kind of confused by them, so I've never purchased any. They seemed a little gimmicky to me. And now having used exactly 2 on my face for the first time ever, I'm not convinced that I love this as a application tool. Maybe I'm wrong. Again, I'm not a makeup artist. If the stuff isn't easy to use, how can they expect any non-makeup artist, just layperson, how can they expect us to use it if it doesn't work easy? I don't understand it. Okay. I also have a couple other brushes. This one I'm going to use for like a bronzer. Maybe I'll use this one for blush, even though like this flat kind of kabuki style I would usually use for foundation. I think I would enjoy this more than the other one, although it seems awfully stubby. Do these seem short? Or maybe I'm just spoiled. When I look at like a MAC one, they seem like they're twice as long. I'm going to keep an open mind though, because I think that's an important thing to do. Keep an open mind. Okay, I do have a Mineral Glow bronzing powder, again, Pur Cosmetics. And this says, give your skin a sun-kissed glow that's always flawless, never orange or streaky with this antioxidant-rich bronzing powder. Why does this package kind of remind me of like Almay? So that's the bronzer. Looks like it'll be maybe a little dark for me, but we'll go with a light hand and just kind of see. So I'm going to use the little kabuki brush for the bronzer, I guess. Just stippling it in here. Not too bad. And I don't see really any streaking. It doesn't seem to be too luminous, but I don't necessarily always like super shiny blushes and bronzers and things like that, because I always worry about it getting into the texture and then just like drawing big signs, neon signs to your texture. Okay, that's actually really pretty. We're just gonna bronze up the rest of the face a little bit. I don't always do this. You guys, my forehead isn't horribly big, so I don't necessarily need the contouring around it, but I do think that kind of frames the face and gives a little bit of warmth to it. I do like to contour that section right there. It's weird how you never think you're gonna get them until you do. And the whole nose contouring thing, you guys, I've just never, I'm gonna try a little bit here with this little brush. I know I should, but I always feel like I don't do it quite right. So we're just gonna do a little, we're gonna try it out. Okay, and I guess we'll use our ginormous toothbrush to kind of blend it a little bit. I don't know if that helps or not. I feel like I always need a little bit more lightness right here because that's where my glasses sit. So it always seems darker in through here. And there, I know that there's some optical illusion about putting concealer on the side of your nose right here. And then of course I feel like broken capillaries and stuff. I feel like I need a little bit more. I feel at this particular moment that I have a lot going on and I don't even have enough to like leave the house in. So I think it's just like all the layers of the Tinted Moisturizer that I wasn't really expecting. Okay, next up, we've got a Pure Minerals blush. And this is in the shade Tease. There's a glass of wine on the back, which makes me thirsty. I have been doing so good in my quest to lose some weight and get my shape back to kind of where I want it to be. Not only have I been working out for months now, we used to have, I would say that I would have like a glass of wine while I'm making dinner and I would kind of carry dinner. Rarely 2 glasses of wine, but I would have a glass of wine probably most days a week, and we are down to only having wine on weekends. Not for any reason other than it's just unnecessary calories. Like, do we really need all that wine? It becomes like a social thing where you're just like, hey, this is what we do. We have a glass of wine with dinner. Anyway, it's not a big deal, honestly. I don't feel like it's, you know, affect our life at all. But I think that's probably one of the reasons why my husband has lost as much weight as he has. This blush is really pretty. I was worried because it's so hot pink. Let's see if I can get it to show up here. It's a really kind of bold pink color. And my camera's not gonna do it justice, I gotta be honest. It looks really washed out in the viewfinder, but against me, I mean, it's just a shade lighter than my fingernails. And I think you can probably see my fingernails are pretty darn fuchsia. This shade, even though it's not coming across that way on camera, is maybe a shade or 2 lighter than my nails. It's very, very bold. But as a blush color, I like it. This brush that I got, even this like contoured angled brush, I think they called it a powder brush or maybe a face blush, I don't know. But it feels completely comfortable to me. It feels natural to me. It's not like, you know, the best, most high zoom brush in the world, but I like this much better than the other 3 that I've tried so far. Yay for that. Okay, what else do we have here? Several lip products that I got. One of them is kind of a light pink clear gloss. One of them is kind of a nudie gloss. One of them is more of a hot pink that kind of matches that blush, I think. And then this other one is a gloss, again, another nude gloss that has like a mirror in it, which I think is kind of cool. And because I've got these pink nails and that pink blush, I might just do this bold pink and we're just gonna kind of see what it looks like. Now, I didn't buy a lip liner. I didn't buy really any of this stuff. I think it all came in their mystery bottles. I don't think any of this I chose. Okay, we're gonna just put on a lip liner really fast. This is ColourPop Lippy Pencil in the shade Good and Plenty. All right, let's try this. And I think it might be a liquid lip. Oh yeah, it's a matte. Feels kind of moussey, actually. That is definitely a color. I would not normally have chosen this. It's a little dark. The reason why I don't normally do like bold lip colors is that sometimes I feel like it can make my top lip look thinner. And when I don't have any eyeshadow on or whatever else, it's almost like the eyes kind of recede and the lips come forward. And I don't know that that's necessarily a good look. So we're gonna leave this on. I think when I swatched this before, I don't think it dried down all the way or as much as I thought it would. Just in case you're at all interested, this is the shade Passion. I feel like I'm gonna end up going over the top of it with one of these nude to kind of tone it down, but we'll see what we do with the eyes here. I don't have a brow product, but I do have a brow brush. We're gonna do some brows really fast. we're just gonna use the Benefit. So you guys, earlier today I was on a conference call and I was talking to a gal who's clear across the country from where I'm located. And she was talking how they haven't been out of their house and haven't done anything. They haven't been into a single restaurant. We've gotten takeout a couple times. She thinks their restaurants are open for like outdoor seating or at a little, you know, smaller capacity. I'm just reminded how the country is in different phases all over. It's very interesting. Why do I feel like I've got one eyebrow that's kind of closer like this and one that's further away? Brows are done. I do think that this is too dark of a color. I did take advantage of a recent Ulta sale and I got a lighter color, but I haven't busted it out yet. We are going to use this ridiculous My Little Pony the Movie palette. This is not one I chose, nor is it one that I would choose. I feel like it's like little kid makeup. It's definitely not marketed or I don't think intended for women of a certain age. However, the color story is actually super wearable. I mean, we do have some ridiculous colors. Like we've got a Kelly green, a bright fuchsia, a bright red, a dark purple, kind of a cerulean or cobalt blue. We've got this minty green. I feel like those are probably all My Little Pony colors. But because they have silver writing on a white background, I'm not even going to attempt to read it. So I'm sorry about that. But since we have this kind of fuchsia lip situation going on, I might as well try something with that bright hot pink and let's just see if we can come up with a usable color story and see what the formula looks like. Like I think I've done like one or two other Pure videos, but it's not a brand that I normally reach for. I did pre-order that Raw Beauty Christie palette. I'm going in with this sort of matte shade right here, and it's kind of a mid-toned, looks almost like a kind of like a mauve nude, I would call it. We're just gonna start out here and kind of just see how pigmented we are. And of course I barely went in because when you don't know how something is pigmented, you don't want to have an accident on your hand. But that's actually really pretty. Like it's subtle and it's soft. I like the shade a lot. You know, because of the whole My Little Pony thing, I don't know that I would reach for this. Like it wouldn't be the first one that comes to mind. I think for me, if I were traveling and I needed to grab a palette to go, I wouldn't be like, oh yeah, I need the My Little Pony one. I'd be like, I need a Pat McGrath one or whatever, you know? I guess here what our experiment is can we take a palette that's not marketed for us and would it work for us, ladies of a certain age? And so far I am digging that shade. I think it's actually really pretty. It seems to be playing okay. You know what? We're just gonna go into this dark brown right here. And I'm gonna take a little bit smaller brush because I wanna put it a little bit further out, kind of outer third maybe. But I wanna start up against, oh yeah, so that's actually pretty pigmented. I barely touched in and got some good color. Okay, we're just gonna buff this up without going back in and then kind of buff it a little bit into the crease right above where the fold is, right above where one of the folds are, if you have eyes like me. That actually buffed into that first shade rather nicely. Okay, all right you guys, that's kind of a subtle look and I really like it, but now here comes our moment of truth. I'm going into this bright fuchsia and I'm gonna start on the outer half of my movable eyelid and then kind of work my way in if I want to, if I need to. Okay, that is pretty bold. We're just tapping it all over the lid because that is super saturated. I don't know where I would wear this color and I have been secretly kind of wanting to dip back into these bolder colors. I haven't used that Jaclyn Hill Volume 2 palette in a long time and I've been thinking about it. This might satisfy that urge for at least a little while longer. I think when it's normally just me at home running errands, you know, whatever else, work stuff, I'm pretty subdued in the colors that I use. I rarely go really bold. My husband likes super bold for like date night, but we haven't had regular date nights in a long time. Like, we'll go out and grab a bite on a weekend, but we don't do the same things that we used to do. Bumping it up against that outer crease color. Quality-wise, I am not upset at all. I'm gonna grab another flat brush. There's two pinks in here that look like they are shimmer. One of them is reading much lighter in the monitor. This one's reading much pinker. Let's just swatch these really fast. Seems to be pretty creamy. Okay, that one is definitely a pale shimmer. The second one feels a little chalkier. And it, I think, reads a little chalkier too. Okay, so this one's reading a little chalkier for me, so I'm going to use this one. And I'm going to go in with my brush at first. I'm getting a fair amount of kick up, but I'm able to pick it back up again with the brush. And we're gonna go in the front, I guess probably third of the eyelid, and we will just bump it up against that seam here, kind of tapping over the seam to blend it. Okay, that went on pretty good with the brush, but since I've got this bright pink, I feel like I kind of want to go a little bolder too. So I'm actually going to take this darker purple, and we're going to use that as an upper eyeliner. And actually maybe just upper and lower. I kind of want to do something with that bright green too, since we're doing crazy colors. All right, I can tell you already, you guys, this was a surprise that this palette is as usable as it is. I think you do have, you know, you've got a gold and kind of a champagne. You've got kind of a gunmetal silver and a darker one. I mean, you do have a number of really neutral wearable shades. I'm liking that purple. I like it with the pink. I like the brown. I like everything about this look right now. I'm gonna take this kind of champagne-y color right here, and we're gonna pop that in the inner corner of my eye, right here. The only thing about this palette that I don't enjoy right now is the fact that it's a My Little Pony palette. Like, that's the one thing that I think kind of turns me off about it. I want to do something with this green, but I know it's going to just kind of gank up the whole thing here. So we're going to take, do I have a firm? I do. I have a little tiny liner brush. I'm going to take that green, pop it in the lower lash line, kind of right in the middle. Bump it up against that purple and then drag it towards the center. And then we're going to go over the top of the purple in the lash line. Take it just up closer to the lash line so that purple just kind of peeks out just below it. Probably didn't need to do that, but you know, it's either that or take up a bunch of your guys' time and do 3 different looks with this palette. And I frankly just wanted to know if something that was a little kids movie themed palette would be usable, could be usable. Now, because that went over so really well, I really like that minty shade, but I'm going to stop. I'm going to put on a little bit of mascara and then I'll be right back. I don't have a name of what I would call this palette, but My Little Pony is not really working for me. It's My Little Pony, the movie. I didn't see the movie. I'm sure it was lovely. I'm sure if you have grandkids, you might have seen it. But aside from that, if I take this and cover it with the sticker or something, I think this is actually a super wearable palette. I think you have this bright yellow, is softer than it appears in the pan. You've got a gold shimmer, not too bad at all, if you can even see it. I gotta fold this back here. Okay, what about this red? Do I have a clean finger? I'm going to go into this red right here. Okay, let's take this minty green here. That's more of a shimmer as well. Okay, I think there's a lot of looks you could do with this stupid little palette, and I think if you can get it for like ridiculous cheap, or if you happen to see this at TJ Maxx or something like that, I would say absolutely pick it up, as long as it doesn't look like it's been swatched or played with, whatever else. Okay, makeup overall, I'm not horribly upset with, but I want to take a little bit of lighter color gloss, I think, onto the lips because they're just frankly too bold. So I've got kind of a really pale pink looking one, and then I've got more of a nude one. I think I'm gonna use the pale pink, and we'll just see. Okay, all that did was take my lips and make them shiny. That really didn't mute the color. It's pretty, like it's not horrible. I don't hate the look, not even the lips. I do want to see if this is gonna darken it up though, or if this will mute it anymore. No, maybe ever so slightly, not enough to tone it down. It's still a very bold lip color. Not quite a full face of Pur, but we tried some of their new brushes. We tried this bronzer and blush. This is perfectly fine. I'm pleasantly surprised with how well that looked. You want saturated lip color, this would give it to you. Anyway, you guys, this is a look that, of course, we always want to know, can we grab something who maybe not be marketed and intended for ladies of a certain age? Can we make it work for us? Can we come up with a look that we would actually leave the house in? And the question is, would I leave the house looking like this? I would. I feel like the lip is pretty bold, so that might be more of a date night lip, but the eyeshadow itself, I could see wearing on a weekend, something fun. I wouldn't wear it to work, but I might wear it on a date night. I would definitely wear it during daylight hours. Hopefully these videos are better quality than they have been. I'm trying, you guys. All right, I'm gonna get out of your guys' hair and hope you guys are doing really well. If you're at all curious about Pur and the Pur formula, I think I said I've heard mixed reviews on whether it works or not, and I'm proud to say I didn't have any issues. I felt like the eyeshadows actually blended really well. I like the color story. I've got a couple other Pure palettes that I think I've done videos with 2 different Pure palettes. One of them was in a full face BoxyCharm video. And then I had picked up another palette. I thought it was the same. It's not. So I've got a couple other Pure palettes. If you guys have any curiosity about them or want to see looks, or if you want to see if I can pull off 3 looks with this one palette, leave me a comment down below. Otherwise, I hope you guys are doing well, really well. I hope you guys are in a safe place with all this coronavirus stuff. I think we kind of think about what's going on in our little community, and we don't necessarily think about how different it is clear across the country. And some places are much further along than others. I don't know. Maybe some places it's like, hey, if you're rioting, you're not going to get coronavirus. But everybody else, you can't be out at 10:01, otherwise you'll get coronavirus. I don't know. All right, you guys, I hope you guys are doing really, really well. And until my next video, bye for now.